You know that feeling, right? A sense of heaviness that you just can't quite shake. But what if that feeling wasn't actually a problem we need to solve? What if it's really a form of quiet, internal guidance, trying to tell us something incredibly important?
We have all been there. It's not necessarily some big catastrophe. It's just a weight. You might feel it in your chest or maybe in your shoulders, this quiet burden that just kind of follows you around all day. It's a feeling pretty much everyone on the planet knows, and it's the perfect place for us to start.
And what's the first thing our brain does when that heaviness shows up? Ugh, it jumps to the worst possible conclusions, doesn't it? We immediately think it's a personal failure. Something's wrong with me. I'm so far behind. I'm losing control. I should be doing so much better. But that's just our first and, often totally wrong assumption.
So here's the big question. What if we're looking at this whole thing completely backward? Instead of fighting this feeling or seeing it as some kind of weakness, what if it's actually trying to help us? This one question, well, it's the key to unlocking a totally new perspective.
So let's dive into this first big idea. The weight we feel isn't a flaw in our character. It's not a bug. It's a feature. It's a signal, a really important piece of information that we just need to learn how to read. So what is this heaviness we're talking about, really? Well, it's not random. It's a sign that internal pressure is building up. Think about it like a backpack you didn't realize you were filling up with all the things we don't deal with, conversations we keep avoiding, emotions we push down, truths we just haven't been ready to face. That's the weight. It's the weight of everything left unspoken. At the end of the day, that feeling of heaviness is your body's way of sending you a message. See, it's guidance, not punishment. It's gently trying to say, hey, you've been carrying this all by yourself for way too long. It's time to pay attention. Okay, so if there's this important message waiting for us, why is it so ridiculously hard to actually hear it? Well, the problem is the sheer volume of our own minds. When we feel overwhelmed, our thoughts get incredibly loud, and all that noise can easily, completely drown out the quiet guidance that's underneath.
Just think about it. It's like there are two different voices inside of us. You've got the loud mind, it's chaotic, it asks a million questions, and it just creates this constant loop of worry. But then there's our inner guidance. And it doesn't shout, it speaks in consistency. Its message is steady, and it just waits patiently for us to finally tune in.
And this is so, so important to get. We're all conditioned to listen for the loudest thing, but the most important messages, they're often the quietest. This guidance is like a steady little flame in the middle of a storm. It's always there, but you have to shield it from the wind of your own anxious thoughts to even see it clearly. All right, so this all sounds great, but how do we actually do it? How do we turn down the volume on that noisy mind? Well, the key is finding what the source material calls your still pocket, a tiny space of clarity that you can actually access anytime you want. And look, this isn't some complicated hour-long meditation practice. It's super simple, just 3 steps. First, just give yourself permission to stop, just for a second. Step 2, take 1 full conscious breath. Don't force it, just let it arrive. And third, tell yourself, I don't need to figure everything out right now. See, this isn't about solving the problem. It's just about creating 1 moment of peace. And what you'll notice right away, it's not a magic trick. The problems don't just vanish into thin air, but something else happens. The grip of that heaviness, it just loosens a bit. It softens. It stops feeling like this huge personal failure and starts feeling like what it actually is. Just information. So what happens in that little pocket of quiet you've just created? Well, that's when clarity can finally start to creep back in. And it doesn't come from thinking harder or trying to force a solution. It comes from just listening in a totally new way. And these are the kinds of truths that start to bubble up from that stillness. It's a gentle reframe. Your loud mind was screaming at you that you're lost, that you've totally failed, but the quiet guidance whispers a different truth. You're just exhausted. Or maybe you'll hear this one. Our culture is constantly yelling at us to reinvent ourselves, to hustle harder, to be more. But sometimes the most profoundly healing thing you can possibly do is just rest. It's a message of compassion, not of pressure. And this one, oh man, this one is huge. The feeling of being overwhelmed can so easily trick us into believing that we are fundamentally broken. But this quiet truth reminds us, Your circumstances might be difficult, but your core self is not flawed. You're overwhelmed, not broken.
So let's be really clear about what's happening here. The world outside of you might not have changed one single bit. The to-do list is probably still there. But by finding that still pocket, you've changed your internal relationship to it all. And that internal shift is what creates the lightness. It's about taking back your power in this present moment.
And maybe this is the most beautiful takeaway of all. The answers, the clarity, that sense of being centered, they aren't things you have to go out and find somewhere. They have always been inside you. It's just that the heaviness and the noise of life have been covering them up. The stillness is what lets you hear what you already know.
So I want to leave you with this question. Where can you find your stillness today? It doesn't have to be some big retreat or a long meditation. It could be a 1-minute pause between meetings. It could be just stepping outside for a single breath of fresh air. Where, right in the middle of your own heaviness, can you find that still pocket and just listen?